Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into Otram's YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a quick oil change on a 2015 Camry with the 4-cylinder. I'm starting you guys up top in the engine bay because before I do an oil change, I always like to see how much oil was in there to begin with. And I don't know if this will focus well enough, but there is no oil showing on the dipstick on this. I always just like to check it first so that we can inform the customer and say, hey, you need to check your oil more often between oil changes because it's going somewhere. And then also, when I'm underneath the car, I'll look for obvious signs of leakage. So I always check the oil first, and I always make sure that I can open the oil cap. We've had some of these completely stuck. So you want to make sure you can put oil back in before you let the oil out. So yeah, now we're done with the top. Let me put the car up in the air and I'll move you underneath. Okay, so now we're all up in the air and you can see we're on the back of the engine on the oil pan, and here's your drain plug. We're just gonna take a 14mm socket, loosen that up. Oh, and normally you'll get a better flow of oil than that. There really was not much in this one. And then we're gonna wanna look at our drain plug to make sure that we've gotten the gasket off of it. And you can actually still see it here on the drain plug, or the oil pan. So we're just gonna take a little pocket screwdriver and knock that off. And then we've got a new factory Toyota drain plug washer. A lot of places don't replace the washer each time. They're cheap. I don't see why you wouldn't. We put a new washer on every time just to make sure we don't have oil leaks. We're gonna let that finish draining and we'll be back. And there we're down to just barely a trickle, so we can go ahead and put our drain plug back in. And grab our torque wrench. And we're gonna torque that to 30 foot-pounds. There we go. And we'll rinse that off so we can tell if there's any leaks afterward. And then over here at the front corner of the motor, we've got our oil filter. And there's a little cap on here. You can just put a 3/8 extension in it. Well, normally this is supposed to come out first. A lot of places don't take this out and just pull the whole cartridge down and don't drain it first. So I'm gonna pop that loose because I always like to change the O-ring that's in there. So we can take this little cap out and a little oil is gonna dribble out. And then there's an O-ring up here in the groove that seals it. We're gonna change that. And then in the kit from Toyota is this plastic adapter that just goes up in that hole and you click it up in there and it'll let you drain the oil that's sitting in the filter housing. I've also got, what I normally use is this one that threads in and has a hose on it. Just makes less of a mess than using the supplied one. I'll just pull that guy out. And then you're gonna need a filter adapter. I really like this one from Click Wrench. These grip really well. They don't slip. I've never had one of these break one of the filter housings. And they have a torque limiter for when you put it back on, which is really nice. And then since we've drained it already, there's not a whole lot left in the housing. but I'm gonna let this drain. You wanna be real careful with this center piece. Don't knock this out. That's your bypass valve. And if you knock this out, bad things happen. And you're gonna have to get a new cap. And then there's another O-ring down here at the base. I'll take that off. I'm gonna take this over and clean it out, and I'll come back. Okay, and with our filter, we've got our new O-ring, and we're just gonna put it, I do not have the light set well for this. We're just gonna work the O-ring on, and it's gonna go down in this groove, down almost to the base. And there's actually a really good picture of this on the box from Toyota that shows exactly where this goes. And then I'm gonna just reach up inside the housing and get a little oil and use that to lubricate the O-ring. And then grab my new filter, pop it in there, and then thread it up into the housing. And then use my filter wrench to tighten that up. And then the nice thing with the click wrench, you'll get to a breakaway torque where it'll stop. If you don't have the click wrench, it's 25 Newton meters of torque. And then we'll take our smaller O-ring and put it in the groove there. And put our cap back in. And then the cap just gets 13 foot-pounds of torque. There we go. And we'll rinse everything off over here, again, so we can tell if there's any leaks in the future. And I'll move you around to the top and we'll refill it. Okay, so now we're back up top. We can take our fill cap off. And I like to use these spill-free funnels that you can grab off Amazon. Thread that in there. And then we're gonna add 4.6 quarts of 0W20. And then before I pull my funnel out, I'm gonna check my dipstick. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but I'm just a hair over the full mark, which is where we wanna be, because once we start the engine, we're gonna fill up that oil filter housing, and that's gonna drop our level a little bit. So we'll go around to the side and we'll do the reset and we'll start it up and check for leaks. So since I'm dirty, we're gonna have Cody do the oil life reset.
All right, what you'll do is you put the key in the ignition, turn it to on, and typically it's on trip A. So you'll come over here to your odometer trip reset. You'll change from your standard odometer to trip A. Turn the key off. With your finger on the trip reset, turn the key back on to the on position. You'll get a maintenance reset light and you'll wait for the countdown. Once it's done flashing, take your finger off and your maintenance is reset.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. Okay, so that is quick oil change on a 2015 Camry with a 4-cylinder. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Subscribe! Subscribe! If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll catch you later. Thanks. Bye.